Hello, fight fans. My name is Michael Hernandez, and I am here with Stacy Michelle Moran, who will be challenging title holder Angelica Pimentel on Saturday, January 28th, at the Visalia Convention Center for the flyweight title. So, how are you feeling today, Stacy? What were you doing before this? How have you been prepping to get yourself into shape for this upcoming championship opportunity?
Hi, I'm feeling good. It's fight week, so let's cut weight, get all that kind of in order, which is going really well. And then for this fight, we just focused on just kind of like everything. I train out of El Nino with the Melendez, so Gilbert Melendez and Keri Melendez, and we pretty much do 2 a days every day. So each day we're either focusing on wrestling on against the cage, or we're doing striking. So every day it's pretty tough. So that's kind of how I would like to stay in shape. But yeah.
Yeah, no, and I was just about to actually get into that and ask you because you do fight out of Hayward, California, and then you travel to San Francisco to go ahead and train with Gilbert Melendez and as well as his wife and Taylor, Carrie and Taylor Melendez. So, what would you say their experience? I mean, they've had that pro experience before, and they've gone to the upper echelons of the pro MMA level, and that's obviously somewhere where you're trying to go. So, how's your experience been soaking up that knowledge from those two fighters that have been to those big stages before? And what do you have to say about their coaching and your experience there at El Nino?
It's amazing, it's kind of surreal because I've watched, them on TV. I've watched both of them on fighting as I grew up, and having them pretty much be my training partners now and being my coach. It's kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie. But I think it's just overall the mindset. Just understanding that if you don't really put in the work, then you can be super talented, and they have been there. They have been in the grind before all the glitz and the glamour of the UFC. So it's just all about like, if this is what you want, you gotta like put in the work, and that's gonna show on fight day.
Yes, most definitely. And with your activity as of late, you have been trying to stay active as much as possible. And with the 3-2 record going into this fight, and with previous experience in the 559 fights, how do you feel coming into this fight as another championship opportunity? Previously, your last fight in the 559 fights was another championship shot. So, what do you feel you're doing different from this approach compared to the last time coming out against Gabriela Lopez?
I think it's just kind of like just as cliche as it is, like kind of getting out of your head a little bit. I really like to take a martial arts approach to fighting. I'd like to think that that's why I became a fighter. I love the whole aspect of it. So I'm just excited now to just kind of, I guess, show what I've been training on. Like, don't worry about obviously I want to win. That's always the case, but I think it's more about like I want to show off like what I've been working on. I want to show the things that I can, and I want to prove to my coaches that I can listen. I am a good martial artist. I am a good student. I can implement the tactics that we've been practicing on fight day.
Yes, and it goes to show on the tape as I mean you're a stand and bang type of girl, which is definitely a style that's very fun for a lot of newer MMA fans to watch too, which I'm pretty sure you're gonna get a ton of fans in those seats come Saturday. But you fight out of Hayward, California, as we were speaking on earlier, and you train in San Francisco, but you also have some history in the Charles Gracie Jiu-Jitsu Academy where you trained. So what would you say going around all these gyms and being in an area like San Francisco, where it's just such a strong MMA community, and there's been so many great fighters to come out of the 209 and even San Francisco. What do you did that inspire you to go ahead and go into the MMA world?
Yeah, actually, like, actually watching Coach Skills fight against Diego Sanchez was one of the fights that kind of, in a weird way, like solidified that I wanted to do this for the rest of my life. And just kind of like seeing that, being around people that I don't know, you're just like you would never assume that they can kill you, and then you train with them, and you're just like, yo, that's insane. And I just every day I'm just like very, very blessed to have this opportunity. So, yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. And you're looking to go ahead and improve on that and obviously go into farther trajectories and hopefully to the pro level. But what has been your favorite part of your journey so far? You're a very young fighter. I mean, you've only had 5 fights in your at the age of 28, so you're not even at that age where a lot of fighters are starting to tack up their fights. So what would you say is your overall what would you say is your overall
Sorry.
favorite moment? No, 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 you're good. I seen the dog fly through. What was your overall favorite moments through all these fights, through all the journey so far?
Um, I would definitely say the environment that I'm in currently. Um, the people that are around me, my teammates, my coaches, the people that I've met through the journey of being a martial artist. Like I would have never met these people. I would have never traveled. I would have never witnessed certain athletes, achieve greatness, seeing my teammates achieve greatness, seeing my teammates, go through the ups and downs of fighting, and we kind of bond that way. So I think my biggest thing that I can take away is just that, like, if you don't have the right people around you that kind of just keep you level headed, then it gets kind of tough. But if you just keep the right people in front of you and you put in the work and you truly do, everything kind of falls into place.
Yeah, no, and most definitely it is proven for you as you've fallen into the El Nino Training Center. And based off your Instagram and based off of your social media, it seems like you're seeming to get into this comfortable state in your MMA career, which is, although a lot of people say comfortability is not a good thing, it's also a great thing when you're trying to build up in the ranks and you're trying to move up forward, you know? So besides from MMA though, what does Stacy Michelle Moran like to do in her free time outside the cage, you know? Because I see that 49ers jersey on, you know, I know the 49ers have a big game coming up this weekend, but what are some things that maybe fight fans would not know about Stacy Michelle that you would like to introduce them into?
Um, I kind of wish I was really cool, but I'm really not. I'm a huge sports fan. So if I'm not in the gym, I'm literally like watching the 49ers. One of the one of the coaches was like, you could just do cardio while you watch the games because you never miss the games. So I was like, you know what, that's a good idea. But yeah, I love being anything outdoors. I love camping. My brother lives up in Washington, so I get it any chance I get out. I get to go out there and hang out with them. I love food. I'm a huge foodie, so anytime I can get to go out and get like ramen in the city or like new ethnic foods, like I'm all down for. So you can definitely catch me at a Niner game or any hole in the wall type of pizza place for sure.
Yeah, most definitely. I've always admired San Francisco's just excellence in garlic fries. They're just always on point wherever you go.
Yep.
The garlic fries there are just insane. But to go on to you're talking about earlier about you growing up in San Francisco, and you're actually a Latina growing up in San Francisco. So I found that very interesting as well. Did you want to go ahead and go into that dynamic and how it maybe did it inspire you to go into the fighting world as well? Because we all know that Latino culture, it has a little bit of that, you know, that fighting style, especially with the boxing roots. So would you say that was that part of the inspiration for you going into wanting to become a fighter?
Surprisingly, not really. I'm actually 100% Salvadorian. People always think I'm mixed. So just gonna put that out there. I'm not mixed. I'm 100% Salvi. But my uncles used to joke that my dad definitely was the more aggressive one out of their family. Growing up, I was probably the more aggressive one out of my siblings also. Um, and then I don't know, I think it's just kind of in our blood, like, it's very rare to meet another, first generation Hispanic where their family didn't go through a lot to come here, and whether or not, your parents were transparent about that or not, I think you feel it. I think you feel very appreciative of, again, like, I probably wouldn't be able to have this opportunity if I was born in El Salvador, to be honest, or in any other country. And I think the fact that my parents were able to sacrifice that to let me pick whatever I want, um, being Hispanic just amplifies that. And I'm just excited. Same thing with my opponent. I bet she feels the same way. We get to do what we love and now we can get paid for it and all that kind of stuff. So it's one of those things where it's very prideful for coming from a Salvadoran background to be able to fight.
Yes, and I was just about to touch on that as well. The fighter you're facing against, Angelica Pimentel, is also known for her roots in the Latina culture as well, which I find very amazing that two Latina fighters are just they're helping to amplify that amateur game and they're helping to you're helping these younger ladies feel comfortable to want to go into the fight game and to want to try it out if they were interested, because it is definitely a daunting task for a lot of women, especially in today's world. I feel like to want to go into the MMA world or to want to go into a gym, to want to go hit a bag because of all the implications that it comes with. But you
Mhm.
ladies show that it does not matter what gender you are, you will still kick somebody's ass. So that's what I love about watching you ladies go at it on Saturday nights, Friday nights, whenever it may be. But your fight day ritual, take us down the street of being a fighter like yourself. Obviously you haven't gone to the pro circuit yet, and with hopes to, but what would you say has been your fight day ritual as an amateur fighter so far, and what would you hope to implement possibly as you go along?
I think, like, having a little bit more fun, um, having a little bit more fun, kinda, like, at the weigh-ins, and then kind of, like, get into that mode, like, literally, like, while we're warming up. I'm a pretty serious person, so sometimes I think it makes the day maybe a little bit longer than it could be. So I think, kind of understanding, like, we can have fun right now. We have the wins, we have fun, we get to eat. And then when it gets closer to, warming up, getting the fight, then like turn that switch on. So I think just that, like, I have like a great corner. So, just enjoying those people around me versus trying to shut off a little bit too much is something that I'm trying to implement.
Yeah, most definitely. And I feel you are a very reserved fighter in the cage. You aren't a very cocky fighter. You aren't like flamboyant in any ways. You're just very about your business. And it's a very refreshing scene from a lot of the up and comers that have came and built their paths based off of this kind of pro wrestling style of,
Hmm.
talking trash. And you just go in there and you let your talking speak for itself. But any last words that you wanted to go ahead and say with this interview? I know you had a you had a class yesterday that you taught at Nino Training Center. I didn't know if you maybe wanted to give a shout out to any of your students or to the ladies in your scrap pack.
Oh yeah, no, like for sure, like 100%. Shout out to my whole entire El Nino crew, Kat, Keri, Jazzy, Roxy, all of the homies, all my male teammates. I have way too many to name them all, but Antonio, Renell, Ricky, Sky, Izzy, Hyder for sure. Shout out to Hyder, which watch him. He's gonna come to the UFC soon. And then Shinju, she is my teammate, but also she's been my strength and conditioning coach and my nutritionist. And yeah, like the whole team at El Nino, Albert, he's gonna work for the 49ers soon also.
Hey, there
So,
you go.
I think that's my favorite part about El Nino. Like when we all kind of get to be in this spot, we just bring it together. So, and then obviously my boxing coach, Haro Boxing, Escobar Boxing. So yeah, shout out to the whole squad.
Yes, that was definitely a long list of people that you had a list of there, but that shows that a lot of people care for you and you care for a lot of people. So that definitely will go a long way, especially in building those relationships in the MMA community. But just one last question here. We know that you train with Gilbert Melendez and Carrie Ann Taylor Melendez. Were they perhaps going to make that trip to the Visalia uh, convention center? Because I'm pretty sure a ton
uh,
of fight fans would be very excited to see them in your corner.
I believe Coach Gill. Yes, Coach Gill will be in my corner. Yes.
Very nice, very nice. And that is it from us fight fans. That is me, Michael Hernandez, with Stacy Michelle Moran for 559 Fights, talking to her about her January 28th opportunity coming up against Angelica Pimentel for the flyweight championship. She is ready to go, and she will look to take a win on Saturday. Hope to see you there, fight fans.